2-hour dinner late with Mary Louise Zeller out there after everybody left, and she filled me in on a lot of other things about the products, and it was just a great conversation. I think they closed the bar, and we were still sitting there about 1 in the morning. So as of today, I have been on the product just a touch over 3 weeks.
Okay.
And my blood pressure, my dates here, on 31st of March, I was into the vascular surgeon for a checkup, and when they told me to check my blood pressure, and I was shocked, it was like 120/74. And in fact, he made a comment. He said, "Gosh, if this, how they are. No offense to doctors, but the medication is really working. We'll probably cut back on it pretty soon." And so I thought, this is great. I went out to CVS Pharmacy, checked my blood pressure, and after 4 or 5 times, it drops again because I had just run up 2 flights of stairs when I was at the doctor's office, and it was 114/71 with a pulse of 61. April 1st, I checked it, 116/70, pulse of 58. April 3rd, 117/72 with a pulse of 53, which is kind of low. April 6th, 116/72 with a pulse of 61. Today, 120/82 with a pulse of 60. And the only thing I've done different is take the Chiani, and I've taken it religiously. I take the sunrise in the morning, 1 ounce. I take the 3 sunsets in the evening. And I used to take it in the morning till I heard Mike Chiagi talk about, hey, it's sunrise and sunset. It makes sense, doesn't it? And the night drink, I was taking a couple blasts here and there until Mary Louise told me to take, she takes more of it, so I take a dropper 3 times a day. I haven't changed my diet, I haven't changed my exercise, I haven't changed anything. The only thing I've done different is take the Chiani. And there's nothing like a personal story to make a believer.
Yeah, there's a saying that when something nice happens to someone else, that's nice. When it happens to you, it's profound.
Well, and
I remember that call. I remember that call you and I had, Walt. You were nuts out of your head. You were excited.
Well, and it's an interesting thing because who gets excited about going to get their blood pressure taken? How exciting is that? It's like in the morning, I'm a kid going to the ice cream parlor. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get my blood pressure taken, and I'm going to write it down on my chart here. And I'm talking. I've got a church thing at 7:30 tonight, and I'm actually going to be talking to a couple of my friends there about the product afterwards. A couple of guys that really need the product, and nobody can tell me anything different because it happened to me, and I will tell my story to you.
Well, I know for a fact, Walt, you're a very wealthy man. If these products didn't do something dramatic, and you even told me this, and you was not quite mean or mean-spirited, but you so much as said, if this stuff doesn't work, it's like, forget it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you don't have to do anything.
When I look at a company, I would say I'm very wealthy, but I'm very blessed. When I look at a company, that, as I said to you when we were in Seattle, and I think I shared this with Mr. Brashears, the first thing I look at is the product. I look at the founders. I look at the financial stability of the company. The last thing I look at is the comp plan. The comp plan is important. Making money is important. But if the product doesn't work, if your founders don't have integrity, I don't care how good your comp plan is. And unfortunately, here we have an A+ in all categories.
Well, let me jump in here because I know you're going to have to run. And what I want to do, Dr. Clair, I would like to have you as an internist, as a clinician, explain to us the importance of his heart rate dropping 25 to 30 beats a minute, every hour of every day, and the reduction of his both systolic and diastolic blood pressures as much as it came down.
This has extremely important implications for Walt's longevity. I can say that unequivocally.
Now, part of your title was the anti-aging division in NIH, right? You kind of know a little something about aging.
The institute is called the National Institute on Aging. But
and what was your title there, Claire?
Well, I was a director of the program on alternative medicine and genetics in the section on genetics at the Institute on Aging. So, and that's because, and that was part of my career that I didn't really tell you about because it's not part of my...
You kind of left that out.
Yeah.
There's a few extra little things you've left out of that, but your CV explains
but
that.
this is really is because of a family connection. My father, who was a retired family practitioner, had a very big interest in alternative and complementary medicine. And he was a big believer in many things way, way, way ahead of his time. And actually, I poo-pooed it for much of my life. I thought my father was really off the wall with these things that he was proposing, including a lot of nutritional supplements and things that we now, we're looking at very, very seriously. And so I come by this interest in nutrition and nutritional supplements from that background with my dad.
Well, let me ask this question, and I'm going to have you get right back to Walt's condition.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that at the NIH in the government, you were the section leader, you were the chief in that field of nutritional and alternative medicine? You
Well,
were the top doc.
within the National Institute on Aging, I was.
Okay, and that's the topic we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, get real direct with Walt. If you were to suggest to him with your crystal ball that this would influence his longevity of life, which you can't definitively say, what would you say just in your opinion?
Well, there are dozens of studies out there, very well conducted and published in highly respected journals that document that with every 5-point reduction in heart rate, you are actually, the chances of living longer go up. So these are what we call epidemiological studies that look at the relationship between things like blood pressure and heart rate and longevity. And people have probably heard of something called the Framingham Heart Study, which is one very, very famous study, and there have been many others. But this relationship between decreased heart rate and also decreased blood pressure, I don't want to minimize that in Walt's experience at all, because the combination of those two really suggests that he has done a great thing for his long-term health.
Well, let me give you free license to ask Dr. Claire anything that you want, understanding she has the free license to not answer.
Thank you. Well, I guess that my question would be, not knowing a lot about what's in the Chiani products other than what I've read on the bottle or the jar, would the sunrise or would the sunset or would the nitric, any one of those do this, or do they work in concert with each other?
And we're going to have to teach you, Walt, the name of the product. It's Nitro FX.
Right.
The way I see this sort of as an overall, from the bird's eye view of what your experience has been, Walt, my belief is that you've been experiencing benefit predominantly in this early phase, these first 3 weeks. You're seeing the effect from the Nitro FX and from the sunset. And the reason that I say